Hi pals, John here with the LensPal, and today we're going to take a look at the R7 from Canon. This is one of Canon's newest mirrorless bodies. It is one of their first APS-C bodies in the RF mount system. They did have, or do have, the EFM system, which is all APS-C mirrorless, but not compatible with anything outside of that product lineup. Great strategy there, Canon. This, however, is an RF body. It is fully compatible with pretty much all of the RF lenses that Canon have released over the last few years. Everything from the 50mm f1.2, the 35mm macro, 70-200s, 100 500s, the 800 f11, all of those are going to work beautifully on this bad boy, just with that 1.6 crop factor. In a lot of ways, this is the follow-up, the mirrorless equivalent of the 7D Mark II, or if you like to think of it another way, it's a baby R5. Doesn't quite have all the features. There's no top panel on here. That's fine. It does have your mode dial, so there's no electronic control of the modes. It has, I don't know if it has a nice click to it, so it's a decent solid click. You're not accidentally going to bump that out of place. You have a nice click between your on, off, and video modes right there, and yeah, it's a nice solidly built camera. It's a little bit smaller than, say, the R6 physically. The grip, however, isn't really much different. This size here still is the right size in the hand, if you have me-sized hands. If you don't have me-sized hands, you may have a different response to that. One of the changes that Canon has made is on the back of the camera right up here. We now have, this is our secondary dial. So if you had an R7, you may have been used to it right around here, but they've moved it up to here. And it actually feels like a really good position when holding the camera, because it's right there. You no longer sort of have to drop your thumb down to move the dial. Might take a moment or three of getting used to, because it is something new. I don't know of any other cameras, or certainly I haven't used any other cameras that have placed the dial there, and you got your little control stick right in the middle of it. Canon have also brought a couple of features to this body, to this line, that we haven't seen at this price point before. First one is that they now have a smart shoe in the top here. So we saw this in the R3 when it was released earlier this year, and basically it's very much like how Sony works. If you plug a regular speed light flash into the top here, it's going to work exactly as you would expect, but it has a bunch of contacts right down in here. I'm going to see if the camera, the B cam, will pick that up. Probably not. It has a bunch of contacts right down in here, so that you can have basically smart interfacing between, whether it's a speed light, whether it's an audio interface. It talks more directly with the camera, which is fantastic. One of the other things they have introduced is to an extent, it's a self-correcting horizon. The sensor will tilt a little bit one way or the other to try and keep your horizon level. Personally, I think that's a genius use of the 5-axis in-body image stabilization. Why not put that to good use if you can? In terms of specs, you've got a 32.5 megapixel APS-C sensor. As I said, in here it's a 1.6 crop factor, like all Canon APS-C bodies. Video-wise, you can do 4K 60 at 10-bit 422 in C-Log 3, so you've got pretty good video chops in here. If you do 4K 30 though, it's oversampled from 7K, so that image quality is chef's kiss beautiful. For you action photographers out there looking for a mirrorless replacement to your 7D Mark II, That's 30 frames a second, although it's an electronic shutter, so you might get a decent amount of rolling. If we put it into mechanical, we now get 15 frames a second mechanical shooting, which is still an improvement over the 10-ish that the 7D Mark II had. I say 10-ish because some sources say 9.5, some say 10.5. But yeah, it's right in that wheelhouse. So yeah, you've got a bunch of stuff in here. And one of the other features that I am looking forward to putting to the test is there is a raw burst mode with pre-shooting enabled. So what they say this does is when you're half pressing the shutter, I guess it's actually recording half a second's worth of raw images into its buffer and basically dumping them out once that half second gets filled up. So then when you're half pressing and then you go press all the way, you actually start to record at that point, but you will also get half a second's worth of raw images beforehand, which is pretty good for, like I say, for action, for sports photographers, for wildlife photographers. You're going to get that functionality in here, as well as having a 1.6 times crop to get you closer to the action. So I think this is actually probably going to be a pretty amazing camera for anybody who needs that little bit of extra reach. And like I say, 15 frames a second mechanical. Yeah, that's it, pretty much. Canon R7 mirrorless APS-C powerhouse, available right now on our website, thelenspal.com, with a 4-day rental at just $73. Price correct at time of publishing. If you have enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful or informative, or if you just like close-ups of cameras, consider giving us a like, thumbs up, share, subscribe, tell a friend, smash a bell, and whatever it is the Canon social media team is saying this week. And until next time, I'll see you soon.